is there something you're doing with AI to help you with your engagement with your passengers?
Yeah, we are taking two approaches. So there's, predictive AI, which helps us a lot more with modeling and media targeting. And it's actually very embedded into platforms like Meta. On the other side, we're really leaning into the generative AI to really improve the experience of digital checkout and an e-commerce flow. And so not it's, when you think about you buy an airplane ticket, you go online, buy it, you get it, simple. Cruising isn't quite like that. You've got to figure out what year you want to go, what
Right.
region you want to go to, which itinerary, which date, what cabin. Then you make a booking, and then you've got food packages, drink packages, shore excursions, reservations. And so it's a really kind of lengthy process. And so, how can we better help people who are maybe not always digital native, but really make that flow, whatever channel you come from, trade or direct, and really flow through this hand holding? So that's what we're really looking at, is the generative AI side, is how do we best help people through the experience in a way that gets them exactly what they want.
You are listening to Power Marketing.
Welcome. My name is Greg Licciardi. Along with being Vice President of Partnerships for Worth Media Group, I also teach marketing at Fordham and Seton Hall universities. I am so excited to be doing this interview today for eMarketing Association with Kacy Cole, who is the Chief Marketing Officer for Holland America Cruise Lines. And today we're going to cover a broad range of topics, but I want to share a little bit more about Kacy because she's having such an amazing year. Kacy, this year, they were just awarded Alaska Cruise Line of the Year for USA Today's Reader's Choice Awards, which is amazing.
Woohoo.
Yeah, that's amazing. And then I did just read that you had one of your most profitable quarters in first quarter. So
Carnival Corporation, yes.
yeah,
We also
congratulations.
broke our single day sales record twice now in the history of the brand. And that just happened last month. So it's been an amazing ride and a lot of teamwork.
Yeah, wow. Um, and Kacy and I met through my chairman, Jim McCann, who had Kacy on his Celebration Chatter podcast. And I saw that and I said, I have to have Kacy on eMarketing Association. So thank you so much for your time. I want to talk a little bit about your background because you've had such a great history in working at the International Herald Tribune, where you were in Paris, and then you went over to one of my favorite brands, Tommy Bahama, as brand marketing director, and then you had a stint as integrated marketing director at T-Mobile, and
Mm-hmm.
your current role, where you've been now, I think, almost 3 years at Holland America. Is that right? And
3 years this fall. Yeah, almost.
almost a year in your current role as chief marketing officer.
A little
That's
over a year.
that's great. So when we first spoke, Kacy, one of the things that really resonated with me was when you shared that you were hired because of your reputation as a builder. I'd love for you to expand on that.
Yeah, thanks. Excited to be here, by the way.
Thank you.
So, for me, I like to say I'm a builder, I'm not a farmer. And what I mean by that is that you need people who will take you from 0.1% down to, zero up to 0.2 and all the optimization. I really like to scale. I really feel like my strength is building teams and brands of businesses and building businesses within a business. So turnaround, hyper growth, scale, those are the things that I really love. And that's where I've learned in the course of my career. I think the first time I had that opportunity was at Getty Images back in the early 2000s, where they were building an editorial business within overall Getty. And that was where I got my first really taste of like entrepreneurship, so to speak. And it really put me on this path of transformation and growth. And it's a real privilege for me at Holland to not only lead transformation from a digital perspective, but really the brand. The brand is a 150-year-old brand, and I take that very seriously. And so our approach of evolution and our revolution for the brand has been really great and rewarding.
Yes. And you are clearly an amazing person for this role with all the success you're
Thank
having.
you.
And talking about transformation and being a builder today, I talk about this in my classroom. Marketing and media is so complex. It's moving at breakneck speed. And I've come up with the term of the holy grail of marketing to really help my students have a platform to draw off of. And that is the ability to reach the right person with the right message at the right time in the right environment, delivering the right outcome. And it sounds easy, right? But it can be really hard. But I'd love to hear from you, your ability and some innovative things that you've done. I know you do a lot with culinary and other areas, but maybe an example of how you're engaging with your travelers would be great and using the content and engagement at the right time.
Yeah, no, it's a great example. And you probably also talk about this. The right audience is super important. So we really, for us, grounded ourselves about who is our high value, high affinity guest. And then really utilizing the data, not just first party and how they interact with us, but really third party and looking into their behaviors, lifestyles, and interests. So in
Yeah.
this instance, one of the things that we did is that we looked and saw that their number one restaurant was Bonefish. Hopefully people are aware of that. The second one was Roy's, which is out of Hawaii, which again is they're both fish restaurants. Of all of their grocery purchases, fresh fish was typically in the top 5 or top 10 consistently. And as we saw, a huge portion of our business on board from the food and beverage category was fresh fish. So the food and beverage team really started evolving the supply chain to bring more fresh fish. And we really lean into that and created this global fresh fish program where you can have 8 varieties of fish in 60 ports and port to plate in less than 48 hours, which if you have any of the supply chain is pretty spectacular. And on top of that, we really leaned into that fresh fish. It's really part of their lifestyle when they're at home. How do we do that on board? And so we signed Chef Morimoto as our fresh fish ambassador to really put the exclamation point on that program. And it has been wildly successful for us. It is really our food and beverage in particular. It's really drawing new people in and seeing things differently. And, it again, marketing is a huge team sport when we wouldn't be able to do that without, our partners on board, especially the food and beverage team.
Wow. And that really distinguishes you from all the research that you have on your travelers, knowing that food and fish are so important to their experience, especially I would think going to Alaska, that to have that onboard experience and have amazing chefs and all of that really must drive success for you. So thank you.
Very much.
That's a great example. And I think I also read that when you were interviewing for your role at Holland America, you had suggested that Holland be on Top Chef. And I think that's now a reality. Is that correct? How did that happen?
It's a reality. Yeah. So, a big part they had learned previously in the research that food and bev, and food in particular, is a really important part. It was more than table stakes for our high value, high affinity guests. So when we came in and did research, what we also found out was that our guests actually, of all the onboard products, entertainment, food, beverage, et cetera, food was actually the one onboard product that was truly driving bookings. And so that's why we prioritize, for example, the fresh fish program. And so as part of that extension of fresh fish, we partnered with 1-800-Flowers brand, Harry and David, and Vital Choice to bring our Holland branded fresh fish to market. And as part of that, we did Top Chef. So I was speaking to Beth Bodensteiner and Gus Antorcha during my interview process. It was like, if we really want credibility for food, we should do media integrations that speak to our program. So as we launched Fresh Fish and our Fresh platform, the opportunity, our Cindy Lee, who runs all of our media, and she's amazing. We do it in-house. She built a relationship with the Top Chef folks and talked, and we actually were able to have our upcoming episode, which I would love to give things away and I can't, but clearly it's around a theme, which you have probably picked up on.
Yes, very exciting. That is an amazing media integration for you, and congratulations on that. That's fantastic. I can't wait to see it. So at eMarketing Association, we talk a lot about latest trends, and you cannot not talk about AI, right? Everyone's talking about AI, marketing, optimization, data. Is there something you're doing with AI to help you with your engagement with your passengers?
Yeah, we are taking 2 approaches. So there's, predictive AI, which helps us a lot more with modeling and media targeting. And it's actually very embedded into platforms like Meta. On the other side, we're really leaning into the generative AI to really improve the experience of digital checkout and an e-commerce flow. And so not it's, when you think about you buy an airplane ticket, you go online, buy it, you get it, simple. Cruising isn't quite like that. You've got to figure out what year you want to go, what
Right.
region you want to go to, which itinerary, which date, what cabin. Then you make a booking, and then you've got food packages, drink packages, shore excursions, reservations. And so it's a really kind of lengthy process. And so how can we better help people who are maybe not always digital native, but really make that flow, whatever channel you come from, trade or direct, and really flow through this hand holding. So that's what we're really looking at, is the generative AI side, is how do we best help people through the experience in a way that gets them exactly what they want.
Yeah, that intuitiveness to what they want, giving it to them
Exactly.
at the right time, and the messaging there. That's so powerful. So
Very.
that's really great. So, Kacy, what are you most excited about going forward? I mean, you're
Well, I'm pretty.
doing so many great things. And again, it's not easy. All right. You're in probably one of the most competitive categories of travel, probably business,
Very.
right? But you're using the AI, you're using latest trends, you're using media partnerships and integrations so well. But what are you excited about going forward?
Yeah, I mean, as you figured out, I'm a pretty enthusiastic person, so I am excited about probably too many things that we have time for. But I think what is most, I'm a marketer at heart, and I really see my job as a real privilege. And I mentioned earlier, I see marketing as a team sport. And a huge part of the work we've been doing across the organization is working, collaborating together more and more. And marketing has been a really big part of that evolution in how we work. And I am so grateful. And what I'm excited about is the opportunity to impact things like our onboard products and fresh fish programs and itineraries and what's important to guests, and really bringing that the guest really starts and ends with everything. And so for me, how do we continue to propagate and bring that brand to life in every corner of the organization? And I think that's what I really love about working at Holland America, is the people, is they're just so wonderful and so collaborative, and we wouldn't be able to do a fraction of the thing without that. So I think about what we could do together is pretty limitless. So I'm really excited. We're already talking 25. So I'm really excited to talk a little bit more later in the year, what we'll do next.
Well, amazing. And I'm sure there's going to be many more great things that you're embarking on.
Definitely. We've got a lot of things lined up in a couple next week. So, keep your ear out for that.
Wonderful. So where can we go to find out what's happening at Holland America?
Yeah, we're really active on social, but from a business standpoint, if you want to go to hollandamerica.com, we've got a press center and blog, all that good stuff. LinkedIn, we post everything, and it's really exciting to really see the stories from across the organization on LinkedIn in particular. If you'd like to shop, please go to hollandamerica.com or your travel agent.
Wonderful. And the best way to find out about it is to go on a cruise, I'm sure. So
oh my gosh, yes.
Because that just sounds amazing. I want to have one of those glacier-inspired cocktails we were talking about. So,
definitely, we'll have to get you on a ship to Alaska. It's pretty. Yeah. Our Alaska in particular is pretty spectacular.
I'm sure. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really appreciate your time and all the continued success.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it today. Thanks, Craig.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.